Back in New York City, we see this female walking down the street when she hears suspicious scratching noises in the distance. Now, as she's about to be attacked, suddenly Moon Knight appears out the darkness and drives the threat away, and the threat appears to be a swarm of robotic mice. Elsewhere, we see Kamala Khan making her way through the city as she was also attacked by a swarm earlier when she was with the X-Men. When we flash back to Moon Knight, we see Moon Knight is in his domain taking requests from the neighborhood residents, as one of the residents is requesting the removal of a drug dealer off the property. Moon Knight says consider it done, and then he moves on to Kamala Khan. Now Kamala comes to inform Moon Knight that she actually has some intel on the tiny robotic swarms, and she believes they've been targeting mutants. Moon Knight asks if they've also been targeting vampires, and Kamala is like, what the fuck? But Moon Knight is like, yes, vampires are real, and they're also under my protection. Moon Knight and Miss Marvel join forces in order to track down the swarm, but on the way, Moon Knight makes a quick pit stop as he one-shots the drug dealer that has been pushing smack in his area. Moon Knight and Miss Marvel proceed to track the swarm to a building, but upon entering the building, they notice all the doorknobs have been removed, subsequently locking the residents inside their units. But as Miss Marvel and Moon Knight are investigating, the next thing they know, they get ambushed by the mice swarm. Now Miss Marvel has already dealt with the swarm, just like the last time she was back with the X-Men, so she understands the more force you hit them with, the better their ability to retaliate. Now, even though she knows that, she still tries to fight them conventionally and gets her ass sent flying into a wall. As Moon Knight and Miss Marvel are dealing with the swarm, Miss Marvel recounts how she was able to defeat the first swarm by using Wolverine's body to conduct a bunch of electricity. But Moon Knight states that method will not work twice, as this swarm appears to be adapting to their damage. As Miss Marvel and Moon Knight proceed to deal with the swarm, they notice the swarm does not seem to like water, so Miss Marvel proceeds to rip the pipes off the roof and use a bunch of water to drive the swarm off. Now Miss Marvel warns Moon Knight to prepare himself, as that was just the first swarm, and the next swarm will be bigger and deadlier. Moon Knight and Miss Marvel set out to find the second swarm, but they make a quick pit stop as Moon Knight states there could be another target, as he's not the only Khonshu in the city. Elsewhere in the city, we find Moon Hunter, as he just so happens to be dealing with that swarm that Moon Knight was talking about. Moon Hunter is reinforced by Miss Marvel and Moon Knight, and together they join forces in order to take the swarm down, but as they engage the swarm assimilates and turns into a big-ass fucking robot. But all is not lost, as Moon Knight and Moon Hunter have a plan, but in order to put their plan into motion, they need a little bit of time. So Miss Marvel proceeds to engage the robot even though she's not making a dent. Now before all is lost, Moon Knight and Moon Hunter combine their powers in order to bring forth a remnant of Khonshu, and together they obliterate the swarm like it's nobody's business. Elsewhere, we see scientists laying flame to samples that appear to have gone critical that have been brought back by the robot swarm. But none of that matters, as the boss states they have samples of the blood of individuals that have been touched by God, so eventually they'll crack the code. To be continued.